Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly photo chats, all things photography. So, if you're thinking about getting a new camera, I have one question for you. Will it inspire you? Will you do something with it different than what you're doing now? Will you actually use it more? Will you go document your family and make that picture of your grandpa? Because I say if it is going to do that, if you can be inspired and you can choose to be inspired and you hold yourself to actually doing it, I think go get it. Because the photograph needs to be made. And if you don't make it, it may not get made. And a lot of people are like kind of on the fence about should I buy gear, should I buy gear? What about, well, if you're going to do something with it, I'm a proponent of having the right gear that inspires you to go out. If you're going to go out and say, I'm going to go buy a Leica M6 and I'm going to go shoot film and I'm going to use a 50 Summicron and I'm going to drop 4K onto it. Listen to me talking all cool 4K. You're going to spend $4,000 on it. At that point, you will have spent $4,000 on a camera, which you could buy a used car for. But, on the other hand, if it's the only camera you need, it's the only camera you use, you go and take this thing everywhere, this thing is permanently strapped to your shoulder, and you use it and you make photographs, how long, once you spread that money over many, many years, how much is it really? Plus the fact that that Leica camera will probably keep its value, and someday in the future you can sell it for everything you paid for it. And it does seem like a lot of money, and I'm not a huge fan of debt, and I don't support getting into debt and having credit card bills at 20%. But if you can afford it, if you can save up for it, if you can make it work that you can get that camera that's one of your dreams. It could be a Rolleiflex, a Hasselblad, it could be a large format, it could be a Nikon or a Leica. Well, then get it. And maybe you make a deal that if by this date, if I don't do something with it, I will unload it. I will resell it. And you might make some money, like I said, if it's a Leica. But the goal is, what will inspire us? What do we use to make the photograph and make it so that those photographs that we wouldn't have made now exist? You might go over to your family's barbecue. You might go over to your friend's house and you bring a camera, but you're not really sure when to bring it out, and you leave it in a case by the door, and that's useless because it's like not even having a camera. And you may pick up a Leica M6 and say, you know what, I'm going to carry this and I'm going to set it on the table in front of me. I'm going to have no case for it. I'm going to leave it out and I'm going to carry it everywhere I go and make it a part of my world. And every once in a while, if I see two people interacting, if I see a little smile, if I see some kids playing, I'm going to photograph it. It's going to change the way I work. I'm going to be inspired to create more on a regular basis and just really make photographs that will matter. If you can do that, and if that camera is going to be the difference, then I say go get it. Because at the end of the day, we need family photo histories. We need those snapshots that I love from the old days. Somebody has to make them. And if you're willing to print your photographs, you have heads and shoulder above anybody else in your family ever seeing photographs of anybody in 50 years, because none of the digital photographs will be around. The digital demise is great when there are so many photographs, somebody passes, nobody's going to go dig through their computer folders looking for the good photos. If they're not printed, if they're not in a drawer, if they're not on the walls, they're done. They're never going to be seen. So you may be doing the only thing in your family is making photo prints, photos that will exist so that future generations will actually see what your family looked like now. And that sounds like a tall order, and it is. But in this world of digital photography, we have so much going on and so much quantity. Will anybody be able to figure out if, say, in 50 years, your family has shot 1.5 million photographs? And they're on clouds and they're on hard drives and some are lost on phones and some are on that other computer that doesn't really boot up anymore. Who's finding them? And then what do they do? Are they opening up JPEGs and are they all standing around the screen and looking at them? And for how long? So if you can make a photograph and you can print it, if you can take a photograph and write on the back so that people know who it is, if you can use that new camera and it's going to inspire you to go out and make those photographs that wouldn't exist otherwise, because if you're just going to use it the way you're using it now, there's no need. But if you're going to change the way you work and you're going to make a contract with yourself that you're going to really engage in a different way with photography and keep it more at the ready and make it so that everybody who knows you says, yeah, I know, they always have a camera. And then it becomes no big deal because it's not unexpected. What do you bring a camera for? No, they always have a camera. We know. If you want to do that, you'll change the way you work, then go get inspired and get the camera. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks so much to all my supporters. I appreciate every one of you. And I will be back next week. We'll talk more photography. As always, here's the good light.